It has got, it uses bandwidth and delay as a metric on priority basis. Cooldown timer, it has got 3 into hello timer. Flash updates, yes, it does use flash updates. It uses hello timer, which is around 5 to 60 seconds. It also take care of hops, so which is around 255 plus hops maximum number. It has got auto summary feature. It summarizes.
So that I don't understand this chart.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the difference between RIP1, RIP2, IGRP, I've summarized it in this chart. Those are the features and those are the differences. So when I say that how many hops does RIP supports, it's around 15 hops. 16 will be the unreachable. For IGRP it is 255. And then for EIGRP it is 255. Auto summary, yes, EIGRP supports auto summary feature. By default it is activated. Connection, it uses multicast address to propagate its update across the network 224.0.0.10. IP protocol number, it uses IP protocol number 88. Those are the things that you need to mark, you need to memorize. It is Cisco proprietary. Load balancing is done by default for 4, but you can maximize it till 16. You need to use command. For non-equal paths, non-equal cost paths, you need to use variance command. Authentication, yes, it does support MD5 authentication. So EIGRP, it is comprised of three main parts. It uses RTP, reliable transfer protocol. It uses diffusing update algorithm. It does perform neighbor discovery and recovery mechanisms, and it also uses protocol dependent modules. So what exactly is RTP and what is a dual? I'll be covering that part in the coming session, in the coming slides. So whenever you talk about routing protocol, it does have its packet type or the updates. It forwards the updates in this format. It has got 5 typical packet types, the update types. The first one it will start is initialization process. The first initially the router will be in the down state. The moment it will start broadcasting the so-called hello messages or forwarding the hello messages, the so-called adjacency or relationship will start getting established. After hello, it will start receiving the acknowledgement from the front router. Then it will update its routing table. It will query regarding the routing table, and it will reply if it is getting query. So those are the 5 types of packets it will use. It uses IP protocol 88, and it uses 224.0.0.10. That is a multicast added. It uses to have any kind of guaranteed delivery of the packets, multicasting address. So what exactly is the EIGRP key technology? Neighbor discovery recovery, reliable transfer protocol, dual, and protocol dependent modules. We have explained it in the next slide. The slides only. So the moment you will configure EIGRP in those both routers, It will first send the hello packet, I'm router A, who is in the link. It will acknowledge, hello, I'm router B. So it will update, here is my complete routing information. It will acknowledge and it will share the routing information. It will acknowledge, thanks for the information, check out my routing info. And it will acknowledge, and that's how the conversions will happen. However, being said that, just give me a minute. Okay. So that's how the initial route discovery works. Now, what exactly is diffusing update algorithm is nothing but Eigrp uses this update dual algorithm to check out the RD or AD, reported distance or administrative distance, and physical distance. What exactly is physical distance? Now, suppose this is a router A, which is source, and this is a router E, which is destination. From router A to reach router E for a packet, to start from router A and to reach the destination router E, we've got three different ways, three different costs. So the cost, how we gonna come up with the cost of the path, we'll be considering bandwidth and delay as a metric. So for router from router A to reach E, the next hop, the next router, the next hop is B. So what's gonna be the RD? RD or AD will be the distance from the next hop router till the destination, which is 10. What is FD? FD will be 10 plus 10, 20. So FD is nothing but AD plus the distance from the source till the next hop router. So the shortest path will be considered as the base metric or base path. So in this case, we've got 10 plus 10, 20, 15 plus 10, 25, 15 plus 30, around 45. So it will be considering this path. So what is the feasible distance? That is a base metric, base path, 20. And the second path will be 15 plus 10, 25. So what will be the FD? FD is nothing but the best path used to reach the destination, that is 10 plus 10, 20. And the successor will be B. What's going to be the feasible successor? The one which is going to be a bit larger than the feasible one. So this is a bit larger. So this is going to be the backup one, the feasible successor, 15 plus 10. It will not be considering this path. So this is going to be the loop free path. So what is adjacency? Unlike OSPF, Eigrp uses hellos to identify itself to potentially find out the neighbors and form adjacency using the so-called three-way handshake process, exchanging the hellos. What is feasible distance? That is the lowest calculated metric for any destination. The FD metric can be chosen from several advertised routes to the destination. You will be having n number of routes to reach the destination. You need to find the feasible distance. You need to find the shortest path to reach the destination. Physical condition. What exactly is physical condition? Is nothing but after considering the physical distance, you need to find out the second shortest path if compared with the first one to meet the so-called criteria to elect the physical successor. That is a backup successor. The successor is the one which you will be using with the so-called finalized physical distance. So in this case, this is a successor, router B is successor, router C is physical successor. So if this fails, C will be taking place, its place. It will be becoming successor. What exactly is Eigrp topology table? There are different tables that it will be taking care of. So what exactly it will be doing is it will be having this neighbor table and then the topology table. Those are the two tables it will be taking care of. Neighbor table, you will be having information regarding the next hop router and the interface from which it has learned the address or the routing information about the next hop router. In topology table, it will be having an information about FD and AD to reach the destination. So when you process this command show IP Eigrp neighbors, it will come up with this info. This is the neighbor, this is the neighbor, this is the neighbor. It has learned the information about those neighbors from this interface. The timer is this uptime. It's been up since 6 days, since 2 weeks, since 2 weeks. That is the last time neighbor was discovered in milliseconds. RTO, how long it takes for the neighbor to respond to reliable packet. And this one, how long to wait before retransmitting if no acknowledgement. Sorry, this is how long it takes for the neighbor to respond to the reliable packet. And this, how long since the last time neighbor was discovered. So it's been up since 6 days. The response time for this particular neighbor, how long it will wait before retransmitting if no acknowledgement. If there is no acknowledgement from the neighbor, how long it will wait. So we've got three tables: neighbor table, topology table, and routing table. So for this destination, after going through those two tables, it will be finding out the feasible distance, the best route. So it's going to be like this: the neighbor table, topology table, and the routing table. So we've got 5 different types of packets: hello, update, query, reply, acknowledgement. In interview, they can ask how many types of packets we have got. We've got 5 types of packets. Hellos are used to establish neighbor relationship, update, send routing updates, query, ask neighbors about routing information, reply, respond to the query, acknowledgement, acknowledge a reliable packet. This I have already explained. Metrics: bandwidth, delay, reliability, loading, MTU, maximum transmission unit, bandwidth of the link, delay in the packet, reliability. Those are the metrics which we'll be considering. Generally, Eigrp metric is Eigrp metric multiplied by 256. So we consider it in the form of k values: k1, k2, k3, k4, k5. K1 is into bandwidth. K1 is equal to bandwidth. K2 will be the delay. K3 will be load. K4 and K5 will be MTU. K4 will be reliability. So by default, Eigrp metric will be the bandwidth of the slowest link plus delay, sum of delays. Those are the by default k values. By default k1, k3 will be 1, and k2, k4, and k5 will be 0. How you're going to consider the bandwidth? How you're going to come up with the cost? 10 divided by minimum bandwidth link along the path in kilobits per second into 256. Now you need to mark this part. Metric, it will be considering the bandwidth of the slowest link plus sum of delays. How are you going to calculate the bandwidth? 10 divided by minimum bandwidth link along the path into 256. So here is a brief example from A to D, A, B, C, D. Delay, it has mentioned the delay. It has mentioned the list bandwidth, which is 64 kbps here. So total delay 6000, list bandwidth 64 kbps. Delay is a sum of all delays. So delays in tens of microseconds into 256, and bandwidth will be 10 raised to 7 divided by bandwidth in kbps into 256. It's 10 raised to 7 divided by bandwidth, the slowest link, into 256. So that's how it will be considering this path. Configuring Eigrp, how you're going to configure Eigrp, router Eigrp and an autonomous system number. You need to activate IP routing. You have to announce the network by processing this command network number wildcard mask. Wildcard mask is exactly inverse marks used to determine how to interpret the address. So when you mention the subnet mask 255.0.0.0 for class A, then it's going to be wildcard mask for that particular subnet mask will be 0.255.255.255. So for 255.255.255.255, wildcard mask will be 0.0.0.0. For this, exactly opposite. For 252, it's going to be 3, the one which has been left, like that. And this is the configuration example. This is the classful without class, with class. Whenever you will work as L1 or might be L2 for the troubleshooting purpose, you will be using those commands, show IP, Eigrp neighbors. You will be getting the uptime over here. Since how long it's been up. Which interface this neighbor has been learnt. Show IP route Eigrp. Show IP route for a particular route. If you are kind of getting facing trouble for the particular route, you can use this command show IP route, and then for the particular route you can check out through which it has been learned, since how long it is, how long it has been up. Show IP protocol will give you the brief summary of the protocols used. The interfaces, topology with physical distance successor for each neighbor. What exactly is local computation? Is nothing but when the successor route fails, and if there is no feasible successor for the failed router, then there is no transition to the active for the subnet, and the feasible successor will take over as a successor. If there is a feasible successor, then the so-called feasible successor will be taking place the successor's position, or it will be replaced by the feasible successor. Failed successor will be replaced by the feasible successor till it get up, till it gets up, till we will solve the issue. That's called as a local computation. If no feasible route is there upon the by considering the so-called routing information, from the previously learned routes from neighbors, then what does router will do if it is not having the physical successor? In that case or in that scenario, it will be sending queries to all neighbor. The queries are propagated until it will find out the alternate route. The query contains the new calculated FD, and that's how the so-called diffusing computation will occur. The router will be set to the reply status flag to 1, which means that there is a reply, which is expected reply. It will be waiting for the reply. The following rule should be kept in mind when determining the status of where. When that so-called scenario, the situation or that particular incident will happen, will occur, is nothing but when there is a change in FD, any change in the topology, an update query or reply packet is seen. So this is the brief flow chart wherein if you find the lost connectivity to the successor, and if you do not have feasible successor, then that particular router will be placing the destination in active state. It will be finding out, it will be propagating the updates, it will be querying the neighbor routers, it will be coming up with a new calculated FD, it will perform the diffusing computation, querying the neighbors for the new route. If you got the route, well and good, you will get the successor. If you don't have, it will remove the destination. If you already have the physical successor, it will add it into the topology table. Just give me a second. I'm getting a call. Just give me a second.
Okay, okay.
Hello. Yes. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, you were asking something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, you will tell me what are need to study in. It's like 45 slides and many things to learn. So which are important that are please tell me.
Yes. You know what? Like, it's not about the importance or anything. See, I'm not sure like how long it will take for your so-called the KT session, or how long it will, you know, uh, you will how long it will take for you to understand the so-called basics of CCNA. But being said that, I want to make sure that I am covering at least. See, I don't want you to be the the master of everything. or the expert in everything. I want you to be the at least knowing the so-called brief, not brief asset, the basic idea. Like when anyone out there will be asking you about the BGP, before reaching BGP, you should be aware of REAP, IGRP, EIGRP, OSF. Those are the traditional networks. Those are the networks which are still running in the market, and they are also um, in the boom. I mean, they are also having a good value. I mean, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but whenever,
I just need to know what is I just need to know what is a EIGRP and what the working. And those are, am I right?
yeah, of course, you have to understand like what exactly is EIGRP. But you know what? Since I've been working in this company, it's been like more than 2 or 3 months, I suppose. This is, I think, my fourth month. I started working with this company from December. All right, and I do not see that much workload. But however, if you start working in traditional network, you will be getting an n number of tickets, the troubleshooting tickets, even though you are working at level 1 or level 2. In this, you do not, and what happens is like if you will not get the work, how you're gonna get qualified? I mean, they will be checking out your performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you will not be in position to, come up with the so-called target or so-called achievements, or and on which tickets you have worked, or incidents, which incidents you've been proactive, then there are the chances of getting fired. All right.
Yeah, I got it.
So yeah, so if you do not have anything to work upon, and I don't know how long the so-called relationship does help in any company. If they are helping, well and good. Why I was explaining, see, I've got a time, you got a time. Why to waste, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Since I'll be also preparing for the interviews, since I'm not getting work, I'm kind of finding it a bit difficult to survive. We've got this one ticket which has been pending since from 1 week, almost 3 5 days. We worked on a couple of tickets. Apart from that, we do not have anything, and I'm scared. That's a natural tendency to get scared. We do have this.
Actually, may I know in a Delhi stand-up meeting, what's the update they are
Yeah,
taking?
yeah. See, in Delhi stand up, they are actually taking updates from each and every team. Every team, each and every other team, they've got the tickets. Okay, they are working, but as far as the so-called work is considered, like if you will start working in operation, the network operation stuff support, you will be supporting the clients. Okay, it could be level 2 query, level 2 tickets, or level 3 tickets, or level 1 tickets. You'll be getting work, but or projects. If you're working in a corporate network like Reliance or TCS, they have their projects, so they've got their deadlines. But in this company, we have very less scope of coming up with the um, so-called to even achieve the whatsoever the performance metrics they have to achieve the KPIs or KRAs, because we are not getting that much work. So I've completed a certification which has been asked by this company. All right, but that's gonna get counted. The weightage for that particular thing is gonna be only 15. The rest 60 and 20 is how you're gonna deliver the services, on how many tickets you have worked. Scared of that. I was scared of that. Um, I worked on a couple of tickets. It's been 3 to 4 months. I've completed 2 certifications, and yeah, there are 2 activities. See, Rashid and Soumendra, they have completed 2 or 3 activities successfully, and a couple of tickets. Apart from that, we do not have anything else. Okay, I mean, if you are you've got good connections, then you can survive, and it's not a big issue. But if there is a, I mean, if there are so many hurdles that you might face in your career from the superior managers, because they also have to survive, right? They will be also fighting for their survival. That's how it works. Why I was covering this, because see, I know that I totally accept and I understand that I'm covering the so-called, um, the topology of the routing protocol in detail. Why? Because I will be also, appearing for the interviews. I also want to work in traditional, as well as I might be using cloud or Python later on. As long as you'll be considering the cloud technology, it is newly established technology. Okay, for OCI, it's been only 2 to 3 years. If anything happens and it's COVID time, if the people out here in this world or that world are not happy with this, or if they want to take out the network engineers from the field itself, then it's going to be hard for the network engineers to survive in the market. Okay, so we do not have to ignore our traditional networks at the same time. Okay, I mean, I am not saying that you totally ignore cloud technology as such, but then, yeah, you also have to keep
Yeah,
another option, the other
yeah,
option.
I am beginner. I need to learn everything. Yeah, I will try to give my best. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got the I mean, since I've joined this company after a really big gap, like around, it's been like 2 years, all right, 2 to 3 years. So, and since because of the COVID, it's been really hard for me.
I think
But for you,
my training. I just think my training is going so speedily. Like every day you covered one topic, then
and
I
it's very
am.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
hard to understand. I understand. See, whatever I'm covering right till now, it is like till CCNP level. After CCNA till CCNP level. Why I'm
yeah,
covering, you will understand when you will appear for the interviews, if you might or if you're not, whatever. Like in near or far future, those slides will be helping you a lot. Like whatsoever the information I've shared, I know that it's kind of taking a bit long and a bit tedious, but you know what? Just try to go through the briefs that, or the so-called peculiar points that I've already explained, that you need to mug,
yeah.
you need to memorize. See, after going through all those technologies, only I can explain you the brief about BGP. After explaining the BGP, again, the entire technology, they have used the so-called subnetting, the so-called BGP in OCI, Oracle Cloud Information Founding, Oracle Cloud Certification, or Oracle Cloud uh, platform. But however, being said that they've got their own stuff as well. So that's how it is already. They have messed up everything. They are using this thing, as well as they've got their own stuff. And then again, you have to mug everything. You have to understand. You have to understand the basic stuff which is needed. See, whenever I'm coming, see this particular EIGRP stuff, it was not there when I appeared for CCNA. All right, it was not there. This is the added new stuff. So yesterday I was going through this, and I was like, man, they are updating like anything. They are upgrading like anything. Okay, it was not there before. I got to know about this EIGRP stuff when I started coming up with this PPT for you, and I actually learned it early in the morning when I got up around 10:30, 9:30. I learned about it. I sleep a bit late, like around 2:30 or something. Since I've been working as a networking, I got this habit of sleeping late because I worked in shifts. Okay, that's all right. So that was. It's not gonna take that much time. All right. I just want you to understand the basic stuff. When the interviewer will come up with a question like, what do you mean by stuck AIGRP, router stuck inactive? What is that state? Or what do you mean by recomputation? Or what are the metrics? Now, when I've considered this metric stuff, it's considering bandwidth and delay. Why only they are considering 10 is to 7? and not because it might be considering the stuff. That's how they have came up with their own formulas. So this is something about a dual finite state machine, like the physical successor and the stuff. It's not that hard. Like whenever you want to elect the successor and physical successor, it will be following the so-called path. Queries are sent. Okay, so this is about the queries. Queries are sent when a route is lost and no physical successor is available. The lost route will be kept in active state. Queries are sent to all neighboring routers on all interfaces except the interface to the successor. Of course, successor is failed, then it will be sending queries to the neighboring routers except the interface which is connected to the successor. If the neighbor do not have their lost route information, queries are sent to the neighbors. So this is something, again, I've explained in the next slide, the same thing. And that is the question that interviewer might ask, because I've been asked several times, what is stuck inactive? This is something which is stuck inactive. The uptime which you are getting, right? This will be active. What do you mean by that? That it does not have physical successor. Successor is failed. It does not have physical successor. Those are the stuck inactive queries. What is auto summary? Auto summary is nothing but the summarization of classes. Router Eigrp, no auto summary. So it is by default, it is activated. You have to disable it. You need to process this command, no auto summary. It will be summarizing the networks. Stub is something when you've got the network, and you've got those two two routers in the distribution layer, and you've got those routers placed at remote places, not like in the different cities within the same location, but a bit far from the actual place. In that case, those routers will be considered as stub routers. So when I'm saying that bit far, like is not like within the same location, but like in this will be in one building and those will be in the other building, like that. 2 to 3 kilometers, something like that. So in that case, you will be considering those as a stub. You have to process those command Eigrp stub. Um, so whenever you will be marking those as stubs, they will not be considered as a transit path for this network. The exit path. The exit path is going to be A and B. Those are the 5 types. Receive only connected static summary. When the stub is connected, if this is the stub, when you will use if the stub connected configuration, in that scenario, B will be advertising only this particular network and not this. Why? Because we have announced only this network and this network. It will not be considering this network. If it is configured, we will be configuring it in the serial interface. And if it is static, we have already announced the static route. If it is receive only, what do you mean by receive only? That it will be only receiving the updates. It will not be announcing anything which is connected to it. So that's all for today. Um, this is, you won't even believe, we've got those, I've got my notes. Give me a second. I think yeah, that's all for today.
Yeah, okay. I didn't study that previous topic that IGRP. I
Mhm.
understand a little bit, but I didn't study it by myself. Yeah,
Okay,
I
you
have to.
need to go through a so-called whatever the slide that I've shared, right? If you'll go through that, you will come to know what exactly it is. That is
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
you're
enough.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
after looking at PPT, I just
yeah.
know what they are, and it's easy for me. And your
Okay,
explanation is amazing to understand. Yeah.
okay. Um, However, being said that I have not understood the bandwidth, the parameter that they have, come up with the so-called formula 10 is to 7 divided by minimum bandwidth, which is going to be in kilobits per second into 256. Now, I have not understood. If at all you will get a chance to have a word with Soumendra, can you please ask this question that why they are considering the slowest bandwidth, um, 10 is to 7 divided by slowest bandwidth into 256, on on what exactly is the criteria that they are considering for the best path or the cost to calculate the cost of that particular link while when they are considering the so-called slowest bandwidth. I didn't understand. That's the reason I was bit
Yeah.
silent while explaining that. But
Okay,
that's
I
all
will
right.
write. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, see,
Yeah,
since you are.
Sumendra also told me yesterday he will take a class of load balancer.
Yeah, sure, sure. I mean, that's not a big deal. If you're gonna get a class on load balancer or checkpoint or whichever the technology, that will
Yeah,
be that will be lovely. That will be well and good. But before going for that, you also have to go through this. And whatsoever the doubts you've got, you can always ping me or the colleagues out there.
yes, yes.
And yeah, also you have to improve your communication skills.
Yeah,
That
you're
will
right.
help you a bit better. Okay, that's all. Just
Yeah.
take care. Bye.
Actually, I have started learning a second foundational training that is IT fundamental and AWS Linux that I need to learn for day in 5 hours. And
Which one? Which one?
everything is,
Which
yeah,
which one?
second foundational training that yeah, those are IT fundamental, AWS and Linux.
You are
Second
working?
foundational training.
Don't give me the. I mean, you are also getting training on AWS.
No, they just give us like we need to know if we enter to IT yeah world. That's why they just if we will not have any certificate. We just study that need to self learning.
Okay, okay, self-learning. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's cool
I
because even I am
yeah
not aware of AWS. I've just cleared OCI certifications.
yeah
That's it.
I learned about in my college life AWS, but I didn't know anything about OCI. But I completed that course OCI Cloud. Yeah, OCI certification.
You got certified
Yeah,
in OCI?
yeah.
OCI or OSI?
OCI.
Okay, the foundation.
Yeah, yeah. Foundation
Then
training.
okay, okay. Then have you appeared for the exam?
Yeah, I cleared that exam.
Okay, then why you are not sharing your credentials?
Where I need to share?
Email ID, you have to share it. You have to share the so-called whatsoever the score that you've got the certificate. You have to send an email, shoot an email, or send an email to Somendra, Rashid, and of course you have to share it with me and HRs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in my checklist there is a updated. I completed that OCI. Somendra know that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
today I will share in that group.
Yeah, I mean, what you have to do is you have to shoot an email stating this the way I have also shared the certification
Yeah,
and
in a foundation L&D team, Anil Bhutraj, he told us like send. I need to send him that certificate. I just tag there. Somindra, I didn't know there need to tag you and receive.
Okay, okay. If you can you, okay. If you can, you can share. I mean, that's well and good. I
Okay,
mean,
okay,
we are
sure.
your colleagues, right? That's the reason. Otherwise, hardly matters. If you are certified, congratulations.
Okay.
So you are already aware of the stuff.
Which stuff?
This the DNS, that is the basic stuff. VCN, network security, security
No,
group help.
I didn't study that properly. There is a 4 days to learn in OCI, so that's why I just clear that exam. Which need to 60%, not studying deeply. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, if you can share the credentials, that is well and good. If you want me to cover those, I will be covering. I mean, not a big deal. And
Please cover that. What I need to cover and need to know, please cover that.
yeah, sure. Fine then. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.